we are making today some really easy steak quesadillas. Not the garbage truck, really messing up the intro. All right, y'all, we're gonna come back to the intro until when they take the trash, we're gonna come back to it. Okay. First things first, we're going to make sure our New York strips are patted dry and they've been sitting at room temperature. Then I'm going to hit it with kosher salt on both sides and some black pepper. You're going to sear this on a super high heat so you can save your other seasonings of choice for a little later so that nothing burns. We're going to season both sides of the steak, and then I'm going to hit my griddle with some oil and ensure that the spot that I want to cook on is nice and hot. You can see the steam coming off of the griddle. That is exactly how we want it. We're going to go ahead and add the New York strip on the griddle and let it cook for about 5 minutes per side. That's how you're really going to get a gorgeous sear on the steak. Once we're happy with the sear, we're going to go ahead and remove that from the griddle. Let it rest for a second, and then I'm actually going to dice up the steak because I like small bite-sized pieces in my quesadilla. In the meantime, I'm going to let my onion and my bell pepper start to saute in the same spot where the steak was so that we're building that flavor. We're going to go ahead and slice the steak into nice bite-sized pieces. You want to use a really sharp knife here so that you're really not struggling to cut the steak into pieces that you want. Once the steak is nice and diced up, you're going to go ahead and add it back to the onion and peppers, and this is where you can combine everything together on the griddle. We're going to go ahead and add our leftover juices that are on the cutting board as well, because no flavor left behind. Once we do that, I'm going to kind of just give everything a quick stir. As you can see, the griddle is still scorching hot. You're definitely going to want to start moving a little bit faster here so that you can control how everything is cooking. Then you're going to go ahead and season to taste with a little bit more flavoring. I'm doing garlic powder and onion powder and some fresh garlic as well as a little bit of butter. I'm also going to squeeze on a half of orange onto this just to give a nice citrus flavor, and that's going to complement the steak really well. We're going to make sure everything is nice and combined and that the steak is cooked to our desired temperature. For me, that's about a medium well. Then I'm going to give the steak a quick little taste for seasoning and make sure that it's good to go. In this case, it needed a pinch more kosher salt to be exactly where we wanted it to be. And so I'm going to go ahead and add that. Then I'm going to have a bowl nice and handy so that I can get this steak off of the griddle pretty quickly. I'm going to pop the steak into the bowl and then just set that aside and then get my tortillas nice and warm. Now I'm using a burrito size quesadilla. You can use smaller ones if you want to make individual quesadillas, but I'm going to use the burrito size and then just kind of like chop it up into individual portions. Before I do that, I'm also going to shred my cheese. Now, the tip here with shredding your cheese is to make sure that it's room temperature and really easy to work with. This is a Colby Jack cheese. It melts beautifully in a quesadilla, and so that is my cheese of choice. You can use any really nice melty cheese that you desire. Once your tortillas are on the griddle, go ahead and add in a portion of the steak and onions and bell peppers and a nice generous handful of the shredded cheese. Again, you want to move really quickly here because your griddle is still nice and hot. So once you have assembled the quesadilla, go ahead and close it and then flip it and hit that fire. Turn it off. Turn it off. You don't want to burn these things up. So give your cheese a second just to get nice and melty. A trick here, if everything's kind of browning too fast, just keep flipping it over on each side until the cheese has melted all the way through and everything is to your desired liking. Once I remove those off the griddle, I'm going to go ahead and just clean my griddle right away. I'm going to deglaze with water, give it a nice scrape, and then let it cool down before I wipe it off with paper towels. And there you have it. We have our beautiful, gorgeous, flavorful steak quesadilla. I mean, look at that cheese pull. I wasn't even trying there. Look at that. It's so stunning. It's so flavorful, so delicious. I hope you guys will give this recipe a try. It's going to be linked down below in the description bar. So y'all saw how easy that was, right? Now you can make this at home too. And no, don't give me that. You don't need a griddle. You can totally make this inside on your stove. You can make it in the air fryer. You can kind of cook the steak at whatever, using whatever contraption you like. For me, I'm using a griddle today and it worked out pretty good. tap right here to watch the next video.